I hope everyone had a nice um Christmas time and like New Year's. So um, yeah, so I'm not sure if it's getting any attention, but apparently um, the government now saying that people who haven't been jabbed like, they could be ineligible for employment benefits. So I'm gonna pull up an article right now because that help explain it all. So okay, so this is from the National Post. It says unjabbed workers who lose jobs ineligible for EI benefits. Minister says policy is intended to protect workplaces from outbreaks and encourage job uptakes, as Employment Minister Carla So I think this is a picture of her. Yes, Canada's Minister of Employment, Workforce Development, Disability Inclusion, Carla Qualtrough. So this is her. It says jobless Canadians who refuse to get jabbed for COVID-19 could be shut out of unemployment benefits, warns Employment Minister Carla Qualtrough. Speaking to Canadian press, Qualtrough said as long as there's a public health emergency, unjabbed workers who lose hours or their job may not be eligible for employment insurance benefits. And then it says Liberals tacked on the condition to a number of benefit payments, the news outlet reports. Although those with a medical exemption are excluded, the policy is intended to keep workplaces open and free of COVID outbreaks and encourage job uptake, Qualtrough said. As long as the collective public health of Canadians is jeopardized and our economy is thereby threatened, we're going to have to keep public health policy top of mind in our employment and labor and economic decision making, she noted. And I don't know how long that will be. Employment and Social Development Canada has issued a notice to employers enforcing job mandates to help them fill out records of employment, the document needed to apply for EI benefits. The department said the department said if an employee doesn't report to work or is suspended or terminated for refusing to comply with a job mandate, the employer should indicate that they quit, took, took a leave of absence, or were dismissed, potentially disqualifying them from collecting EI. The notice also lays out multiple factors that could be considered, including whether the job policy was clearly communicated, if it was reasonable within the workplace context, and any potential exemptions from the job policy. In November, the federal government expanded the Canada Worker Lockdown benefit to provide temporary support to workers if their workplace has been affected by capacity limiting restriction of 50% or more during the pandemic. Eligible workers may receive $270 after taxes for each 1 week period leading up to February 12 if they have lost 50% or more of their income as a result of the capacity limits. Yeah, and also due to like the the job mandates and the lockdowns the government is imposing too, as that's also costing that's also causing businesses to lose their income. So the Trudeau Liberals made stipulations in the federal pandemic aid policy in the fall to encourage participation in the labor force, explained Qualtrough. We knew we had to make sure that if something like Omicron happened, that we still needed a tool to help Canadians who either would lose their jobs or would face reduced hours, she said. But we knew the economy in September of 2021 looked very different than it did in September of 2020. So we couldn't just continue with broad measures that maybe would disincentivize work or wouldn't encourage maximum labor force participation. Canada's unemployment rate fell to 6.0% in November, zero point 0.3 percentage points shy of data from February 2020, just before the pandemic hit, Statistics Canada estimates. The report found that 19.3 million people in the country were employed, the highest ever recorded, and 183,000 more than pre pandemic levels. Okay, so that's the end of the article, and so the last part here on the unemployment rate, yeah, like they're talking about the unemployment rate as if like somehow that's a good thing, even though like with all the lockdowns and restrictions, like a lot of businesses have had to close. So I doubt like the unemployment rate is like 6.0%. So and also like before 2020, before all these lockdowns were implemented, Canada already had like the highest unemployment rate like out of the G7. So like yeah, in terms of the unemployment rate, I don't think it's 6.0%. Like I'm sure it's bigger than that. So, but I guess they're trying to like spin it in a way that, or they're trying to use numbers that like that don't look that make it look as if the unemployment rate is really low when in reality it's like actually like worse, actually higher. So and also like somewhere in the article here, where is it? So yeah, so like in the article where it says um where yeah, so here it says like a notice. So like here it says the department said if an employee doesn't report to work or suspended or terminated for refusing to comply with a job mandate, the employer should indicate that they quit, took a leave of absence, or were dismissed, potentially disqualifying them from collecting EI. So like that part there, yeah, like I'm sure like disqualifying people from EI benefits or employment insurance benefits. I'm sure, yeah, like disqualifying them based on like their job status. I'm sure like that's unlawful in some type of way, but um, yeah, like I don't think like that's legal at all. But I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna. I'm not like a lawyer or anything, so I can't really um, say much about that. But I'm sure like disqualifying people just over over their job status for EI, I'm sure like that has to be like unlawful in some type of way. So and also like I think it's been like mentioned before by yeah, like I know like I think lawyers that yeah, like I think lawyers are even saying how if your workplace fires you over like your ability to take over your refusal to get the job, then and even to get the test, then the workplace has to give you like severance pay over that. Um, so yeah, this whole like yeah, so like this whole thing with the job mandates and all that, like it's all like unlawful what they're doing, and it's like in a way it's sort of like invading. Yeah, and it's like sort of yeah, and it's like in a way that like they're forcing people to like disclose their medical information, all that. So and also like apparently whether if they and also depending on their job status, that also like their job status apparently also determines like whether they're eligible for EI or not, which I'm sure like that has to be illegal or unlawful in some ways. So yeah, like this. So now like the government is now trying to deny Canadians from collecting employment insurance benefit, which they should be entitled to, or they should be allowed to get because they've been working at because they work like I'm sure many work like long hours, especially like with the way the Canadian economy has been going, because like everything becoming expensive and all that. I'm sure many Canadians have to work like long hours, so it should be right that they get access to EI benefits and all that. So, but instead, like the government, they're trying to take that away if they haven't taken the job. So yeah, it just seems like the government they're looking for ways to yeah, just looking for ways to coerce Canadians into getting the job, it's I think to me it's like unlawful as people should be able to decide for themselves if they want to get the job or not. Government shouldn't be coercing people into whether or not they should get the job. So and also like taking like EI benefits away from them for not getting the job. I don't think that's right, and I'm sure like it's unlawful or illegal in some ways. So yeah, that's the end of the article. I can close that now. So yeah, this whole yeah. So it seems like the Canadian government they're trying to like get people like force people into getting the job. Otherwise now they won't be able to get EI benefits. So and they've already made it, and like they've already like forced the workplaces to enforce these job mandates. So now like you can hardly like get a job anywhere unless your job does like as I'm sure now like they'll like many workplaces they'll be asking for your job status and all that, which I don't think like yeah, like I don't think that's their business as to whether or not your job, but unfortunately because of these like government mandates and all that, they're now these businesses are now like push enforcing these job mandates. So yeah, like meaning that if you haven't been jabbed, then yeah, you're pretty much like you have no chance of being hired and all that. So and now they want to take away and now they want to take away like employment insurance benefits for people who haven't been jabbed, which I think is just another way to like coerce people to like get inoculated. So and yeah, I don't think like government should be telling people whether or not they should. Yeah, like I don't think that government should be telling people whether or not they should get the jab. I think that's for people themselves Yeah, that's like a decision for people themselves to make. So yeah, like that's everything I want to talk about. Like, so,